Yo people, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to do a little preview for the Joshua Pulev undercard. Thanks for all the support on my recent video where I previewed the main event, Joshua Pulev, and I predicted that Joshua will stop Pulev in the late rounds. But let me know your thoughts on the main event in the comments below. Tell me whether you think Joshua will win. Comment Joshua if you think Anthony Joshua will win. Comment Pulev if you think Kubrat Pulev will win. And tell me by what method, knockout, TKO, points, whatever. So moving on to the undercard, there's a couple fighters I don't know. There's a couple fights I'm not sure about, especially some of the first ones on the card, like Florian Marku versus Jamie Stewart. Florian Marku is an Albanian fighter who has quite a big following in Albania. He's 7-0 with 5 knockouts. He's obviously got some power. He looks in great shape. And then his opponent, Jamie Stewart, 2-0. He in his last fight, I believe he fought Mick Hennessy Jr. So that's the son of Mick Hennessy, the boxing promoter. And he won. He beat Mick Hennessy Jr. Mick Hennessy Jr. was being built up a little bit by Mick Hennessy Sr., his dad. So, not really sure about this fight. I mean, if I was to guess, I'd go with Florian Marku, just because the more fights, better KO percentage. So yeah, I'd go with Florian Marku in that fight. Ashfaq versus Ashley Lane. I mean, if you look at the records, I'm assuming Ashfaq is the strong favourite, and I'd probably go with Ashfaq to win that fight. But I don't believe I've ever seen either of them fight. Moving on to Kieran Conway versus Mccauley Magowan. That looks like quite an evenly matched fight. I've seen Kieran Conway before. I watched him fight Ted Cheeseman. That was a draw, but I believe some people thought Kieran Conway won. Some people thought Ted Cheeseman won. But in that fight, you'd have to go with Kieran Conway. But I don't know anything about Macaulay Magowan really, because I haven't ever watched him fight. Moving on to the big boys, we've got 2 heavyweight contests. Then the co-main event is a cruiserweight contest between Lawrence Okolie and Jezewski, I believe his name is. Some of these Eastern European names are very difficult to pronounce. But moving on to Mccauley versus Sergey Kuzmin. Now this is an interesting one. This is a heavyweight contest. It's going to be for the international WBC heavyweight title. And one of the main intriguing factors in this fight is the fact that both fighters have the same record. They're both 15-1. So 15 wins, 1 loss. And both of their 1 losses, or 1 loss, each fighter lost to the same fighter in Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter beat Bakole and he beat Kuzmin. So that's interesting. They both got a common opponent. And you'd have to say Sergey Kuzmin is the more polished of the two. He's got the vast amateur experience. I believe Sergey Kuzmin knocked out Joe Joyce in amateurs, which is you know, to knock out Joe Joyce is, you know, it's not easy. Let's say that. But Martin Bakole, he's a very well spoken of heavyweight, especially in the GB setup at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. He spars Anthony Joshua on a regular. I'm sure he sparred the likes of, I believe he sparred the likes of Daniel Dubois and probably Joe Joyce as well. He's probably sparred Joe Joyce. In this fight, I feel like Martin Bakole is probably the more fresher of the two, and Martin Bakole's got a higher ceiling in terms of he can learn more, whereas Sergey Kuzmin is, you know, sort of at his peak right now. But if it's a true 50-50 fight, this one, Bakole Kuzmin, I'd have to go for Martin Bakole by, I'd say by stoppage, because I believe Sergey Kuzmin was stopped by Michael Hunter. So if Michael Hunter can stop Sergey Kuzmin, a big punching heavyweight like Martin Bakole, I think he's got a good chance of stopping Sergey Kuzmin. So yeah, we're going to go with Martin Bakole by stoppage in that fight. I've just looked on Sergey Kuzmin's box record and realised that he wasn't stopped by Michael Hunter. He lost by a unanimous decision, but I still stand by my belief that I think Martin Bakole will get him out of there. I don't think this fight goes the distance for either man. Like, Bakole could stop Kuzmin, Kuzmin could stop Bakole. You know, I think it comes down to whose style is more appropriate on the night, who has a better game plan, etc. So yeah, moving on. Next on the card, you've got Hughie Fury versus Marius Weck. Hughie Fury is obviously the cousin of Tyson Fury. Hughie Fury has not excelled at world level. If anything, he's lost all of his biggest fights. All of his fights at world level. He's lost to Joseph Parker, Kubrat Pulev, and Alexander Povetkin just over a year ago. So I think Hughie Fury is coming into this fight with a point to prove. If he can stop Marius Wach, I mean, that would be a good result for him, because Marius Wach, you know, he doesn't get stopped often. Marius Wach has one of the best chins in the heavyweight division, so that would be some scalp if Hughie Fury could stop him. But I think that's unlikely. Hughie Fury has a very sort of defensively focused style. He's not going in there to knock guys out. He's going in there to jab and basically jab a guy's face off and win on points. That's what he's doing. So in this fight, pretty easy prediction to make. I think Hughie Fury will win on points. Marius Wach is, you know, other than the fact that he's got a great chin, he hasn't really got many other great attributes. But yeah, so I'll go with Hughie Fury on points in that one. And last but not least, we got the Sauce, Lawrence Okolie, who was meant to be fighting Krzysztof Glowacki in this fight for the WBO World Cruiserweight title, but unfortunately Glowacki had to pull out for reasons I won't mention. I don't want to trigger the YouTube algorithm, but in steps Jezewski, who's a Polish cruiserweight. I've never seen him fight, but he's 19-0 even, with one draw. But you know, it's hard to make a prediction when one of the fighters is unknown, completely unknown. I don't believe he was in the WBO top 15, but the fight is for the vacant WBO International Cruiserweight title. If I was going to have to make a prediction, if Jezewski is game, and usually Eastern European fighters are game, Jezewski's Polish, the same as Krzysztof Glowacki. Jezewski, I believe, will be coming to win this fight for sure. He's not going to come and lie down. He's 19-0, he's unbeaten, and if he wins this fight, he's got a shot at the world title. So I don't know if Okolie will get him out of there. I'm going to go with I believe it'd be a safe bet to go with Okolie on points, although Okolie has knocked out most of his opponents. He's got 14 wins with 11 knockouts. Even at a high level, even at the European level against Ngannou, he stopped Ngannou. And so, I mean, you know, Okolie could stop him, but if Jezewski, you know, has got a good chin, if Jezewski fights smart, tries to box him on the outside, could go to points. So I'm going to go with Okolie on points in that one. So that basically wraps up the video, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment below, tell me your predictions. Does Okolie beat Jezewski? Tell me about the heavyweight fights. The main one that I think a lot of people are interested in is Martin Bakole versus Sergey Kuzmin. So tell me who you think wins that fight in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on the post notification bell to stay notified whenever I upload a new video.